welcome to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. I'm Devin.
And I'm Joe.
And we're two Taylor Swift stans here recording on a typical Tuesday night.
That's right. This is a show where two friends finally get to let their dedication to our Lord and Savior Taylor Swift fly.
We'll be discussing everything from song breakdowns, Taylor news, and our insane fan theories.
That's right. What are we doing today, though? I kind of forget. What's today's episode?
So we will be breaking down the song Lover.
Oh my gosh, that's why I've been listening to that song for the last hour on repeat.
No, I thought that was just your normal
I mean, that
Spotify.
is my normal day. Yeah, that's kind of my normal day, but still.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I love the song.
All right, so it's been a while since we've done one, and by while, I mean I think it's been like one episode since we've done a song breakdown. So I think, what do? We usually start with some quick facts about the song?
Yes.
All right, so let's run down the gambit here. This is the title track.
Lover
Is the title track of the album Lover, which I don't think this is in our notes, but I remember reading somewhere that the original title of the album was supposed to be Daylight.
Yep. I actually did write that down.
Did you write that down?
Yes, I did. It's about context, but that's fine.
An all-star. They also have some remixes, which I think we're going to have some fun disagreements about. Where Shawn Mendes... What? I'm sorry. I hate peeling back the curtain as much as we do. But what do you mean by yuck, 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 Shawn Mendes, you unsupportive friend?
He's not nice to her. So this girl has gone out of her way to defend... No, she's gone out of her way to support this man. She brought him on the 1989 tour as an opening
I remember yelling
act.
at him because I hated every opener I ever saw at that point.
Yeah, and you know...
And he was good.
He was good, but she helped expose this younger, new artist to a large audience of people who would like him, younger...
Young, rapid females, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what does this man do? He goes on John Mayer's Instagram, show, and when they talk about Taylor Swift, he, doesn't defend her when they make fun of her. He's like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. It's like, no, dude, she's had your back so often, and then you release this remix that's not even good. Their voices do not blend, and it wasn't a nice thing for him to do. Taylor Swift deserves better.
And then he went on and started dating Camila Cabello and stole her from me. So, kind of not my favorite person.
They're such a weird couple. That's another topic.
Yeah, that is a weird couple. It's so much weirder than me and Camila Cabello. We make a perfect couple. Camila,
exactly.
I know you're listening.
I'd support that.
Yeah, because then you get to be friends with Camila Cabello.
Yeah, she seems all right.
I think the remix is fine, but we can talk about that more after we get through the quick facts. It is the third single from Lover. It is also the third track from Lover.
Wow.
It peaked at number 10 on the Billboard 100, which I think is crazy low. And this one's the one... For a
Taylor Swift song, yeah.
This is my favorite section of Quick Facts, where I describe what Wikipedia says the genre of this song is and ask you, what the hell does that mean?
Okay. I've come prepared.
So this song is described as a country ballad and waltz that draws influences from folk, indie folk, pop, and torch. Not torch music, not torch, like a torch.
Yes.
What does this mean?
So torch. It's called a torch song. Wikipedia says a torch song is a sentimental love song, typically one in which the singer laments an unrequited or lost love, either where one party is oblivious to the existence of the other, where one party has moved on, or where a romantic affair has affected the relationship. So
I wouldn't classify this as torch then.
Well, it's a sentimental love song. It's drawing influence from. It's not saying it is a torch song. It's saying that it's drawing influence, we can get with the lyrics
I can see that though,
but...
because the unrequited love of can I go where you go?
Exactly.
I can see that in
those
a
deep,
little
meaningful
bit.
questions, yeah.
Torch. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. One, that sounds like my exact favorite genre of music, and two, the etymology of that is fascinating to me. Where they came up with that.
I feel like Taylor Swift has a lot of torch songs.
Yeah.
If we really wanted to You
I think
know,
we just talked
Unrequited
about a
Love,
bunch of them on the last episode.
where we cried to all
Where
of
we
them.
cried a lot. All right, so those are just some quick facts. Now we want to dive into the context around this song. So, Devin, what is some context around Lover?
So, Lover. Let's see. So, let's see. We talked about Daylight.
We
I'm
did
trying to
talk
see
about
where
the
I wanna
Daylight,
start.
yeah.
Yeah, so Daylight was initially going to be the title track of the album.
Thank God it
And
wasn't.
yeah, Daylight was good for what it was, but when
Not
she
as it can't carry this album.
yeah, when she stumbled out of bed, went to her piano, and then just wrote the song in a night that is Lover, she knew. She was like, this is going to be the track song, the title track.
Absolutely insane.
There was this great interview with Jack Antonoff that she did for, I forget what magazine.
I think it was the New York Times.
Probably, that sounds about right. But she wrote the song, she recorded it into a voice memo, sent it to Jack Antonoff. He was like, all right, come fly out the next day, we'll record it. And they recorded it all in a day. But she wrote the song entirely herself.
That's the thing, like, I'll never forget, this is a little off of Taylor, but like when I watched Rocket Man, the Elton John movie, and they showed him getting lyrics and just coming up with music to those lyrics, no problem, like off the fly. And I was like, that's unrealistic. That's not how it works. And that's literally how Elton John wrote songs. And that just blew my mind. And then to hear Taylor come up and just like, oh, it's amazing because you listen to the voice memo. And I might see if I can find it, maybe throw it in here somewhere, like maybe right here. But if I don't, then it's not here. But it's just incredible that like there's nothing on that voice memo except I have an idea for a song, and it's literally the whole song. Yeah. Like I can't even fathom being that insanely talented. Like
she's had this process down for years where, you know, she describes it as this song cloud that's just in front of her in her brain that she just reaches out and grabs and just creates a song. Mm-hmm. And at this point, we know how great of a lyricist she is, so it comes naturally to her.
I guess it's just like, I guess because I'm so far the opposite where I can't rhyme 2 words to save my life. To see someone just be able to just stream of conscious do this kind of stuff is just insane to me.
You can't rhyme for your life?
I really
that sounds
couldn't.
like a strife, man.
Stop right now.
Anyways, another context about the song. So, like Joe mentioned, this is her 3rd single off of the album, but it's the first that really feels like what Lover truly embodies. You know, we have Me and You Need to Calm Down, which are very 2 poppy, upbeat anthems, and then Lover comes out, and that gives you the first peek into, oh, hey, this album took a turn apparently, but you later come to find that this is the theme of the album.
That's the one thing I've just noticed with Taylor is just like this first song she puts out. I'll never forget, like every time Taylor releases her first single, I have like 40 people text me and go, oh my God, what do you think of the new single? It sounds so weird. It's so off. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell you right now, that's not what the album's going to be like. And they're like, like Me was a big one where they were like, I don't know. Like, this seems odd. Like, Look at What You Made Me Do at least vaguely still fit the mold a little bit. But We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is almost nothing like the rest of Red. Shake It Off is nothing like the rest of 1989. And this song and Me is nothing like the rest of Lover. You Need to Calm Down is closer, but it's still
it's closer to Me than I would say the rest of the album.
And
that's
but this
a whole
song
episode of.
That's a whole episode. Yeah, I could write a whole essay on that. But
This
Lover, Lover is just it feels like I when I was doing the research on this, I did completely forget about You Need to Calm Down and Me. I thought this was the first single. Because
never. That would make too much sense.
It would. It just feels like the first single. Like it feels like the first thing we should have heard from this album. Which Taylor has her own way of marketing and things like that makes sense for as to why she did what she did. But Lover just I feel like if if someone wanted to go, what's this album like? I do think Lover is the track that you go, okay, in a summary, this is the album. Listen to this. What you think of this will probably dictate what you think of the rest of the album.
100%. Yeah. I mean, even when we saw her perform this live in Paris for the special, this was her closing song. It feels like a very closing, very, you know, like it wraps it up perfectly and encapsulates everything that you need.
Which is just still so nuts that, like, you think a song like that, oh, she must have spent months. She must have, like, gone back and forth with a lot of stuff. And, like, it just came out in, like, a day.
Honestly,
Day, and it defines the era.
The best songs happen that way.
I mean, probably. I'm trying to think of, like, other ones, but this is going to pull from something else that's very unlike Taylor Swift. But back when I was in high school, I was very into a band called Avenged Sevenfold, which is like a metal band.
Oh, jeez.
And they put out a YouTube series, which was the making of their self-titled album. And it was like a very in-depth look behind the scenes of like how they go from idea of a song to song for every song on the album. And let me tell you how much money I would pay to have that kind of access, to be in the recording studio with Taylor, Jack, and was the other girl Lindsay? Was the other one? Was her sound engineer?
Yeah.
I think her name was Lindsay something, and I feel bad for not knowing that. I should know the rest of the rest of her information. Because she's just as responsible for making these songs sound as good as they are, as the rest of them. But I would just kill to be a fly on the wall in these things. I love that we did get a look into this specific song, but
Yeah. So this is also Taylor Swift's first wedding-esque song. You know, she's been wanting to make a slow dance song for years. She describes it as, you know, you and your partner being the last two people slow dancing on the dance floor at the end of a wedding or something like that. It's just like the two of you. There's no one else in the room. This is that kind of song. And I don't really think we get that from any of her other songs thus far.
No. Like, I remember when I first heard this song, I was like, I was like, you know what? She finally got so sick and tired of Ed Sheeran having the monopoly on wedding songs. That she was like, screw you, Ed, I'm going to make one now. And now people are going to dance to mine.
Yeah.
Because I know, let me tell you how many weddings I've been to where thinking out loud, perfect, no, I'm just kidding. But like Ed Sheeran, like every album has one or two songs that you know you're going to hear at every wedding till the end of time. And now I don't think Taylor ever had one. Like, the only song I think I've ever heard of Taylor's at a wedding was Shake It Off. And that's not a wedding song. That's just a reception dance party song.
The only song I could vaguely see potentially being a wedding song might be like You Are in Love.
Like you mean like a bride and groom dancing to song?
Yeah.
Like, I can see Love Story like 100% being there.
Yeah.
I can see like, I almost said Story of Us. I can't see that one.
No.
You Belong With Me, I could see, but even then, that's a little rough.
Not as like a first dance, which they have the remix.
Mine wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
But they're so upbeat and poppy. They don't have like the same slow tempo to like you said, like you were telling me before we started, like the sway that you get from a wedding song.
Mm-hmm. The sway, the waltz influences that come from it. Great song. Great structural song. We'll get into that in a little bit.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to hear more about that and break that down. This song was actually nominated for Song of the Year at the Grammys. Unfortunately lost to Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. What are your thoughts on that?
So I have a lot of thoughts on Billie Eilish. I think she's fantastic. I think she's a great young talent. She is very knowledgeable about lots of issues, and she speaks up on them, which I really appreciate. While I think she's definitely talented and she deserves all of the attention she's getting, there were some categories. She won, I think, 5 awards that night. She did not need to win all 5. But the way the Grammys are structured, you know, as someone who's watched the Grammys for a good amount of time, like, the way they're structured and the categories of the awards, like what they go into, it's just not representative. Like, it's not representing right. You know, the fact that they have, and I don't want to get too political into this, but a lot of black artists who you would probably put into like a pop category because they're making pop music are now in rap.
Yeah.
It's like they're not rap. Like, so she draws that. She's like, I'm more rap than, someone else would be. But yet you put me in pop. So the whole structure of it is fine. I mean, out of all of the songs for Song of the Year, I love Taylor Swift. She wasn't Song of the Year.
I don't think she was Song of the Year
I think
either.
she could have been nominated for something else, but Bad Guy had more of an influence over, the music industry that year and just that entire scene. She created that.
I agree entirely. All right, well, before we dive into the lyrics that jumped out at us, we're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsor, Anchor. All right, thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring this podcast. We're back. Devin, let's dive into some lyrics.
Okay, so the first most controversial lyric.
How is this controversial?
It was very controversial. I remember everyone talking about it, like, is she dumb? We could leave the Christmas lights up till January. Taylor, Christmas is December 25th. Are you not leaving your Christmas lights up till January? And everyone thought it should have been later. It was this whole big thing. But fun fact, initially when she wrote the song, the lyrics were supposed to be, we could leave the Christmas lights up till April. But then she thought about it, and it's not supposed to be this crazy idea of, oh, let's leave them up till April. It's supposed to be a song with love and this, relationship at the core of it, saying, we can leave them up till January. We could put a rug over here. We could do whatever. This is our place. We make the rules.
I think, one, I do think it's interesting to go from April to January just on a syllable area. And I'm trying to think, we can leave Christmas up till January. It's our place. Yeah, so she doesn't even rhyme. She doesn't even rhyme the next line, so it doesn't matter. But it's interesting to go all the way to January because it doesn't roll off the tongue in verse as well as April, I guess. February could work there.
We could leave April is just too short.
April's too short. March is not great. May is awful. February, I think if she really wanted to quell the fans that were like, that's normal as January. But I 100%, she wants mundane in this song. She wants to convey normalcy and a regularity of love in this song. And one of the things, and I pointed this out, it's because we just did a whole episode where we went through her whole discography and pulled out all of these sad songs. But we look back at Speak Now and Fearless, Love Story, Enchanted, all of these songs, Long Live, where they're just so grandiose and love is this giant, beautiful thing that's has all of these bells and whistles and enchanted evenings and wonderstruck and all of this stuff. And now now she's a 30-year-old. She's leaving the Christmas lights till January. That's love. Having the option to do things like that, just living in an apartment with someone and sharing your space with another person. It's so interesting to see how she's developed, because that was back when she was what, sub 21. She wasn't even 20 when she was talking about that love. And that's exactly how I feel I've gone too. I remember watching all those crazy Valentine's Day and all of those movies, Valentine's Day starring Taylor Swift, where I thought that's what love was when I was in high school. And now exactly. I would kill for someone to live with me and tell me where to put a freaking rug. That's it's insane to see that maturity and to not only see it, but feeling you matured along with her.
Exactly. You grow with it. You grow with the music. You grow with the artist. She's come a long way since, she was 15 years old writing music about love that no one at 15 knows what love is. It's impossible. So it's really refreshing to see that she seems very stable in this relationship and, she knows what love is. She's been through it. She's going through it, It's very encouraging.
The next line that stuck out to me, and I might get blasted for this if I'm wrong. We tried to research it and didn't find me wrong, but that doesn't mean I'm not. The line with every guitar string scar on my hand stuck out to me because I remember reading when the song came out that that's the first time she used the word guitar in a song since her self-titled album.
Which is crazy to me.
Absolutely nuts to me.
I would.
We
Like,
tried.
you think about it.
We searched. We tried to find any instance of it. The only song that we could find is "Teardrops on My Guitar," and I guess like after Red, it makes more sense that she doesn't talk about guitars. But Speak Now, Fearless, like you never mentioned the word guitar, or the fact that she plays guitar, like anything, like
Yeah.
and to come up in this song, which I think is an odd line to me. Where like I know like in this part of the song, this is the wedding ceremony, she's singing this line. She wanted to subvert a lot of expectations with this. Like she wanted to take like normal phrases like do you take so and so, do you take so and so,
Traditional wedding vows and lingo.
and she wanted to subvert a lot of it, but like it just seems like such an odd line thrown in there because it just feels so out of place. And I would have loved to heard her like pitch this line and like defend this line of like why she wanted it in the song, because I just can't think of a reason why
I mean, with every guitar string scar on my hand, I mean, I think it has to do with, you know, the scars, like having scars, and, you know, I will take you with every scar on my body, every scar from the music I have created, and this reputation I have built for myself, and all the times I've been jaded, like I'll take it with that hand and I will hold you just as close.
I think that speaks specifically to Taylor too, where it's like she looks at a guitar and she's like, all the things that a guitar has done in her life and all of the scars that have come from what this guitar has done in her life. I don't know what it is. Something about that line, from the fact that there's the first mention of guitar to like where she stuck it in to how odd it is. You just know it's Taylor Swift, so there's something there. She didn't just stick it in for no reason. She wasn't like, oh, we need a line.
Yeah.
So no, that one just stuck out to me as like a very odd, very like something I wanted to dive a little bit deeper on.
And then even the chorus, like you said before, those two first lines that she thought of when she wrote the song, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close? Both of them are just such vulnerable questions. You know, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close? It comes from such a place of, you know, like she said, it's a very heavy question. It's full of fear, but you ask these questions when you're in love, and that's what love is. And it's just, I'm so lonely. I love the lyrics so much.
It's actually like that's the part I think that feels the torchiest. Like, it's just because there's never an answer of like, yes, you can. It's just,
it's a decision you have to make every day.
it's something that's so interesting to me as like a generally clingy individual, where like when you're either starting a relationship or even like, I remember I was in a relationship where the girl I was dating was like, you know, when we're on the altar, which we never got to, but you know, when we're on the altar, I'm going to be like, do you still like me? And I can relate. Like you're always wondering in a relationship, and or unless you're like ridiculously secure or normal, whatever.
If you're not insecure like me, you know.
If you're not insecure like me, yeah, like it's there's something like just like no, like I want to go where you go. Like I want to always be this close. Like I don't want to drift apart. And I think like that's
scary.
It's scary. It's terrifying. And like it's not only is it terrifying, not only is it a terrifying concept, but it's a terrifying question to ask, because like what if they say like, well, like, yeah, you can come where I go, but like not always, or like I need to do this by myself or something. Like there's just something like space. Like one of my other favorite pop artists, Tovlo, had a song called Close.
You like Tovlo?
I love Tovlo. I've seen her live.
We've never talked about this.
I love female pop singers, but Taylor Swift is the best.
Okay.
She's not. Taylor Swift is queen. Tovlo is queen of the clouds. But no, like Tolo and Nick Jonas did a song called Close, where it was just like, because space is just a word. Space is just
Made
a
up.
term made up for people who don't want to get too close. And I loved that. I loved that song and that concept of like, no, like we don't need space. Like that space is for different kinds of people. Where we are, we don't need it. And I just, can we always be this close? Is just is a line that really gets me, and I really like it.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about this.
Yeah.
We talked about it with the vows, but the bridge, when we discussed it with forget what song we did, but it's not a ranting bridge.
What does
It's
that
like
mean? I think I
ranting
asked you that
bridge?
the last time too. What is
We
a
did.
ranting bridge? It's
Yeah.
like, it's like the like keeps going and keeps hitting.
We talked about it with Cruel Summer.
That's
what we
right. That's
talked
right,
about.
yeah.
But so instead of, Cruel Summer's, she's screaming, "I'm drunk in the back of a car." This one is very like story time, fable-esque, like, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's very
stand.
different.
Like,
It's very different from the rest of the song. Like I think in that interview we were talking about, Jack describes it as the tunnel.
the bridge?
Yeah,
Yes.
like he painted such a beautiful picture of it, of like you're going through, like you're on a drive and you
You're on
see
a
like these
road.
beautiful you're on a road, on a drive. That's what you drive on, Devin. And you see like these beautiful mountains and these beautiful prairies and
Trees.
woods and trees and everything. And then like you go through a tunnel and you don't see anything.
It's pitch black.
It's it's pitch black. You don't see anything. And then you come out the other side and you see everything again, and you just appreciate it more because you didn't have it at that time.
You were brought back to that place.
You're brought back to that place. And that's what he described this bridge as like the song is very airy, very light, very ethereal, and you it's beautiful. And then you go to this bridge that is like a very different feel to it, and you go through it and you experience it, and then you come out the other side and you go right back into the chorus, and you appreciate it more because it's just like the tunnel. Like you come out of the tunnel and you're back into this beautiful scene.
And you're good. It's not only the lyrics. I mean, we're going to talk about the music behind the lyrics in a second, but that grandiose buildup of, the strings and, from the bridge to that chorus again, like it just erupts, and it's just it's a great grand gesture of back into the song, back into this love. Like it's like as soon as you say I do, I pronounce you man and wife, like that's what the chorus
doves
then
fly.
sounds like. Yeah. Exactly.
I think like
It's just
one of my
such
other
a great
it's that goes into the music production, but the production on this song is insane. Absolutely insane. One of the lines that I also wanted to bring up that's a little bit like of a pet line for me, that I just think as a lyricist is just so playful and interesting, is "All's well that ends well to end up with you." It just rolls so well, and just the use of like the same words in different ways, like and just like to wrap it up, it just feels like a perfect little bow of a line.
yeah.
And it feels great too. Like it's just like, you know what? Everything's fine as long as I end up with you. But like, and you could say that a million different ways, but I just think it's so clever the way that she ended up using it, and so succinct.
Fantastic lyricist. I mean, and if you're not watching the YouTube video of this, you can I'll just illustrate it. Every time we say a lyric, I'm just kind of dancing in my
sway.
chair a little bit.
Yeah, you just sway a little bit.
It's just such a nice flow. Yeah, it's the cadence is fantastic.
The cadence works really well, and yeah, it's like one of those songs that like it comes on, and like even if you're just at your desk doing work, even if you're in the car just driving, you just kind of find yourself swaying, which is insane. Like songs that you just feel are incredible.
Without even thinking about it.
The last thing that I wanted to mention is the controversial term that she uses in this song. Lover.
Lover. Have you ever used that in your daily
Never
linguistics?
once. Never
Same.
once.
I think it's a yucky word.
I have a girl tell me I would never want to be called that. Never say that word. They likened it to moist.
It seems like a dirty word. Like, oh, that's my lover. Like,
It doesn't feel like a romanticized word. I feel like this song is very much a we're taking it back kind of song.
Well, we're gonna take it way back to when the word lover wasn't icky. But I mean, you think about it in terms of poetry and in different songs, and in the context of the song, it doesn't sound that bad. It sounds, nice, and it sounds romantic, which this whole era was like this big romanticized, real feeling of love. So lover in this context makes sense. If you were to say, "Hey, lover, what's up?" Like, no.
Yeah, it's kind of
Not a fan.
weird. What are you doing? Yeah. No, but I like that, like, it kind of does a really good job blending the two worlds. Because, like we said, like, the lyrics and what she's going for in this song and this album is, like, polar opposites of the grandiose love of Speak Now, whatever. But lover is still, like, an like, a Shakespearean word, like, out of Romeo and Juliet. Star-crossed lovers. That, like... It kind of like it ties it all together where it's like I'm not the same person, but I'm still gonna draw on what I was. I think that's an interesting thing to tie them together a bit.
I still believe in fairy tales. I just know that they're different now. So, the music behind the actual lyrics. I found out it was the New York Times. If you are listening to this right now, take the 10 minutes that it takes to watch Diary of a Song. It's a YouTube video by the New York Times, and it interviews Jack, Taylor, and Lindsay, or whatever their sound.
Gosh,
Laura.
if it's not, is it Laura?
I think it's Laura.
I was close. Is an L.
I was gonna say I'm like 90% sure it's Laura, but take the time to watch the video. We're gonna be referencing that a lot and basically just reiterating and adding to that. But it is such a cool way to look into the song. And
it's Laura Dern. Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. I was right, Laura. Sorry, Laura.
Sorry,
but
Lindsay.
when they were... Well, who's Lindsay?
Go.
But when they were producing the song, we just talked about them wanting to take it back. They wanted to make it sound like you could hear this at a wedding reception in the 70s. Like, it's timeless. You listen to it then, you listen to it now. There's something about it that feels nostalgic and just brings you back and brings you to this, like, old idea of love, and that love is timeless.
It definitely gets, like, I get a vibe of, like, this is a weird thing to relate to, but you know the movie Click with Adam Sandler? There's a scene in that movie where he rewinds back to the first time he met his amazingly gorgeous wife, Kate Beckinsale. And they're in like this 1970s style like bar with like a disco ball with like all these different colors and everything going around. And the song, what is it? What is it? It's the Cranberries. There's a song by the Cranberries is playing, and that's their song. But like, you could easily take that song by the Cranberries out and have Lover be playing at that bar, and it would have fit in perfectly. And I don't know why I immediately go to that. It's a very weird place to go, but I think I just recently rewatched the movie.
Well, you know what? I'm excited for in 20 to 30 years when we have a song or we have a movie that song could be used as like a throwback. Like, oh, this was the first time that we met and Lover is played that way.
I can easily see that, yeah.
Yeah. So another thing about the song that they touch on in the video, they use this really cool space echo reverb effect. In the video, they kind of they solo out or single out her vocal track, and you hear how airy and spacey it is. It's just, she's singing and reverb is so cool. I love reverb, but they filled the space, and they talk about how even without the vocals, they use... Okay, this is the part of the episode that I get very nerdy about music and instruments because I love them so much. So they're using a snare and they're using a brush. So when you play the drums, you play with sticks, and then you also have a brush that has like these little metal type things that stick out of them. And you usually would spin it and like just and then slap it. But they were listening to Violent Femme's Blister in the Sun, which is the song that goes
Oh yeah.
and that's that snare sound. And you just take that and you hit it really hard, and it's just that and it really fills that space. So it's that along with the bass line that they did, which was inspired by Paul McCartney's style. He has previously used the bass that was in that studio. It's like a famous Paul McCartney bass. It's not his bass, but it was influenced by it. But just the bass and the drums.
The style.
Yeah. But they just fill the space of the song so well. So when you add that spacey, echoey reverb, it just sounds like you're in an empty room and her voice is just filling it, and it's so cool. It's such a cool music, man.
You feel that song, I don't know how they do it. Like some movie magic where you do, like, I hear that song and I imagine exactly two people in like an old time auditorium with like one light spotlight coming down on them and just swaying back. Like, what did you told me, you were speaking about it earlier, but you said like she wanted this song to be the last two people at a wedding at 4 a.m. just swaying back and forth. And like, that's the image I get every time I hear it. And like, you can just see the relationship of like these two people that are just like together.
Just so in love.
In love.
It's fantastic. But what else did they use in the song? They had that bass. They had this washy piano, which was like the mellotron, like a dream sequence type.
What is a mellotron?
Mellotron's like a type of like keyboard piano type instrument. Like you would play it like that.
Like a Casio?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, Casio's a brand.
Oh, well, it's just a Casio keyboard.
Okay, yeah, but like a keyboard, whereas like a mellotron is like a separate instrument.
Oh, okay.
Similar, like it's like a family of instruments.
Similar but different.
Yeah, and then they used a 12-string guitar, but the mellotron, I think, is what they might have used it in the bridge, I want to say, like those little blings.
That makes sense. Yeah,
but then we didn't really discuss it, but the first dance remix really uses this theme. I'm going completely off script. Has a lot of strings in it, and I remember learning about the theory behind it and like what themes come into music, and these, what's the word? The strings, just like these flying, colorful strings. When you like watch a love movie or a romance movie, and you see two characters. You know, those movies about love.
The love movie.
But you see these two characters running towards each other, and you hear the rising, sweeping, like, ba-na-na-na-na-na, like that's just like it's a classic love trope theme. And anytime you hear like the sweeping strings, which they do in the remix, it's just like this classic trope of romance. And so I think it was really cool that they kind of, paid their homage to that.
Definitely.
And then we get into this waltz tempo that, makes you dun 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 dun.
The sway.
Dun, 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 the sway, exactly. And they also mentioned this in the diary of the song when Taylor was writing the song, because it wasn't there at first initially, but they have this really cool walk down of the end of the chorus when it goes, "You're my lover," but it's the chords actually just go downward. It's like dun 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 dun, lover, bing 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 bing, and it just like instantly goes back up. But just like that walk down, just like it makes it feel like you're sinking. It's just like dun dun.
But it's interesting too, because like her my like it doesn't feel. Yeah, it's the same note. Like, it doesn't feel like a walk down unless you, like, really pay attention to the background.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's the whole theory of music, is you can have one thing in your melody, but when you're listening to music, unless you're listening to those, those chords and that undertone, like, you don't know why you feel this way. But when you actually look at the structure of the chords and the progression from one chord to another chord, that's what makes you feel things. And that's why music is so cool.
And it's voodoo magic.
It is voodoo magic.
And Jack and Taylor have mastered it. Let's move on to the music video breakdown, because this is the first, and this is the first music video we get to break down.
Yes.
Yeah, there was none for, I Forgot That You Existed, and there's none for Cruel Summer, but there should be. Taylor,
Cruel Summer
get on
should have
that.
been a single. I will scream it to the mountaintops, but I already
we did get
episode.
a pretty awesome music video out of Lover.
Yes. Can we talk about how it literally is the snow globe from You Are in Love? And so it goes. You two are dancing in a snow globe round and round. You cannot say no because she literally confirmed it.
No, I know. I'm not saying it's not.
Okay.
You Are in Love is like...
Your face.
You Are in Love is one of those songs that I never really clicked with. So,
No.
yeah, I'm sorry. So I never... It's one of the... Like, the back half of 1989 really fell off for me. So I don't really know it as well as I should.
We're gonna, when we break down 1989, I'm popping off on you with this song.
It's gonna be a lot of you. No, but it is gorgeous. Like, it's beautifully shot, and like I said, like it hits that perfect point of mundane and grandiose at the same time, because it is this like huge love story, but of normal things. Like putting up a picture in a room, or having a party with guests over, and not even like a crazy party, just like there are people in a living room, playing board games, which I love.
Before we get too much into the video, can I just say one thing?
What's that?
When I first heard the song and saw the lyric music video that came out to it, I sat and I said, she's married. She literally got married to Joe, and this music video is going to be a supercut, my Lord shirt of supercut. It's going to be a supercut of their wedding.
You have a Lord Supercut shirt?
I'm wearing it right now. Supercut.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Anyway, sorry.
Anyways. But it's literally, I thought it was going to be a surprise wedding video. Everyone on Twitter was like, she's married. This is it.
I'm so happy she's not.
She went and got married. I really wanted it to be, but I feel like that's the kind of thing she would do. But that's also a cheesy thing to do, and Taylor Swift is not cheesy.
She's not cheesy anymore, no.
Like, I feel like other artists have done that, where it's like, we got married, surprise. That's like a Kardashian thing to do.
I don't think she wants
And
to be associated near that, no.
Exactly. And that's why she didn't.
See, that's the thing, is once she gets married, like, Camilla's already in a relationship, then Taylor Swift's married, and it's like, what do I do? Like...
Where do I go?
Yeah,
Who do I
like,
talk
come
to?
on.
Ladies, Joe is single. Slide into the DMs and I will redirect you to him.
Joe is single and Devin is sad.
Devin is single but doesn't want any of you, so goodbye.
But no, so there's the big elephant in the house of this song that blew my mind when it started blowing up on Twitter. This theory that she ended up confirming most of, if not all of, with what was it? You introduce it, because I think you know it a little bit better.
So you look at the house; it's structured like a dollhouse, and there's 7 different rooms, not including
the hallways,
like the staircase and the hallway. Yeah, but there's 7 distinct rooms with these 7 different colors that go along with each room. And the theory is that every single room depicts an album of hers. So we're gonna break it down, but there's a blue room, a red room, a green room, a yellow room, purple, red, then the attic, which is black, and then pink. And each of them have their own, they each have their own album. So if we want, we can kind of break it down
album /
by
era.
each room. Exactly, yeah. So the theory,
I think it's confirmed, because didn't she confirm it?
She did. She put
So
like
then
a
it's
little
not a
smiley
theory.
face and like a thumbs up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, Taylor could... I know she's a very intentional person, but she could have done it for a different reason. Like, she could have been like, okay, these are just different rooms that describe different aspects of a relationship. Like, we're fighting, and the jealousy, and, the public eye, and, like, all these things. But someone who's a crazy fan would be like, this is the theory. And she might be like, Yeah. I don't think it was that way. I think it was
this
intentional.
theory is 100% true. Like,
Okay.
it's just too perfect.
So,
anyway, continue.
let us break down each room. So let's start with the green room, which would be self-titled.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to mention Owens is the last name of the guy who is her love interest in the video.
Lover.
He has been her lover. He's been her longtime backup dancer, so they already have that great chemistry between them, which is fantastic to see played out. But so he's hanging this photo of her cat. But, you know, him hanging this photo kind of signifies the beginning of a relationship, those beginning stages, you know, setting up your place that you're staying together, where you could draw a comparison to self-titled, where she's beginning her career, she's putting out her first album, she's setting the stage for what's to come.
And it's the beginning of her relationship with us, the people who make podcasts about her.
Yeah, those crazy kids.
Those crazy kids.
So then the next room would be the not green room, we just said that. The yellow room, which is Fearless.
It's also like these colors perfectly coincide with the colors on the album. So Devin, there's no way that it's not 100% true.
I don't know. I have to be.
You're just
the
wrong.
Devil. I have to.
You don't
play
have to
devil's
be
advocate.
wrong. You don't have to be wrong. You can be right. So Yellow Room is Fearless.
Yes. So in the video, they're in the room playing board games on the ceiling. They're upside down for some reason. Fun fact: we have Devils Roll the Dice is one of the board games.
Devils Roll the Dice, Angels Roll Their Eyes is one.
Yes. Afterglow is on the Scrabble board.
The Scrabble board, they do After and Glow are two of the words. And the Scrabble board itself says King of Hearts, which, that's a song off of Reputation, right?
It's a song off of Reputation, but they said that King of Hearts, like King of My Heart, was supposed to be about Joe. And so then when it says Devils Roll the Dice, Angels Roll Their Eyes, or whatever it was, that it was still connected to Joe. Like, that was the theory, that the songs are connected. And then Breakable Heaven.
What was that
which is
again?
Cruel Summer.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Cruel Summer, yeah. So
Just little tidbits. They're cool.
I
want to buy
little
those,
Easter eggs.
dude. I want to buy those boxes.
You are a board game fanatic.
I'm a board game fanatic. I would
For those who don't
love to
know.
have just random boxes and just throw other board games in them.
You need a Taylor Swift board game.
One day. They'll make it, or
We'll
I'll
do
make
some
it.
research. So this could represent that they're still young, they're still playing these games, you know. It could represent how her life is turning upside down with mainstream success and fame with Fearless. Any thoughts?
No, I think that's the biggest thing is, like, she kind of got pretty big with self-titled, but, like, Love Story and You Belong With Me and, like, those songs really blew her up and turned her life upside down. Like, because I think, like we talked in the last episode, You're Not Sorry was, like, the song that was featured on the CSI episode that she got on. She had I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong, is this where Kanye happened? Fearless? Or was that Speak Now?
That might have been Speak Now.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was... Yeah.
Either way, definitely, like, she went from 15-year-old girl just writing songs, blah, 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 to this, like, I would say, like, Ariana Grande level. Probably less, a little bit less, but, like, a powerhouse. Yeah, exactly. And she's still, like, this little girl. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. And, like, and you see this in, like, the documentary where it's just, she's just told exactly what to do. Just be this perfect girl. And she doesn't know what she's doing, and she's just trying to be this perfect, no nonsense kind of girl.
Yeah. So in terms of all the rooms, I feel like this one is probably the weakest connection. A lot of them play out a little bit better. Color scheme wise, I would say Fearless, you know, yellow.
Pretty yellow.
It kind of matches.
Pretty yellow.
Yeah. But then we have the purple room, which is Speak Now. And at one point in the video, she's alone playing the piano, just like she wrote the entire album Speak Now by herself.
Insane how she wrote that whole album by herself. It's a masterpiece. A masterpiece. Anyway.
Yeah. We never doubted
What
her.
I don't feel like I saw a lot of this room in the because when I say I was listening to the song on repeat, I was listening to the song through the music video and having that on repeat.
Okay.
I feel like this is the room I saw the least of.
Yeah, probably wasn't too much highlighted.
She's alone, so it can't really highlight too much.
Yeah, she's just kind of like lamenting.
The next one's a pretty far leap.
Is it?
That was a joke. It was like a really poor one, but that was a joke. The red room is red.
Is about red.
Which I actually this one was the most interesting one to me because
there's a lot to it.
There is so much to unpack in this room alone, and I think the story that you see unfold in this room follows red to a T. Mm-hmm. Like the one thing that like stands out to me is like when Owens is sitting on the couch talking to this other very attractive lady, and like she laughs at his joke and like says and like something, and he's like pretty close to her, and you just see the camera just cuts to her, and you just see her not like jealous, but like wanting. I think is the word that I would use to describe her. It's not like she's not like upset. She is, but she's not like mad. She's just like, I want that. Like I want you. I don't want you. I don't want to share. I don't want to have to worry about whoever this girl is. Like I want you. Wanting, I just think is the perfect word to describe the amazing face that she gives in that scene, because it goes over the line that she says, I'm highly suspicious that everyone that sees you wants you. And that's the thing is she's not like upset that she thinks he would cheat on her or that he would do anything wrong. It's that she's afraid of the other people, because she knows how great this is and this person is, and she doesn't want someone else to see it and try to take it for themselves. Just that line and that part, I don't know why it stuck out to me in this whole video more than anything else.
Yeah, and I mean other elements of it, she's sitting alone at this New Year's Eve party alone playing the guitar. Like you said, like there's themes that, you know, she's looking, her partner might be unfaithful. It's a lot of heartbreak themes, same as in Red, like the moment I knew, you know, parallels to being at a party, but he is at this party, but just like that theme.
How do we know it's a New Year's Eve party?
There's a sign that says New Year's Eve.
Interesting. I missed that.
Because then
it matches with New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
Matches with New Year's Day, because later on in the video he's sitting there alone on the couch and there's glitter on the floor after the party.
Gosh, she's so good.
She's so good. She's so
such
great. Love that
she's
girl.
so deserving of a podcast all about her.
Exactly.
The next room was a very interesting room. And I think this is the one where she definitely confirmed at least the theory about it.
Yeah.
We're like almost to the T. She was like, yeah, they nailed it. They got exactly what I was going for. Which was the fishbowl room, where she's visible to everyone, but she's unable to escape. You mentioned it looks like the underwater scene from Out of the Woods.
Yeah.
Explain.
Just like so in Out of the Woods, like just like the flowing of like her dress and like the image
so
itself draws familiarities to each other.
How does her hair look great? Like,
people who make music videos,
they know.
They're just good. Yeah. But I think it's really important to talk about how, you know, her lovers are coming into this fishbowl. There's no ladder on the inside out. You know, there's only the ladder to go in, and then you're stuck in there. And when Owens first, you know, emerges into the water, he like puts himself in this like fetal position because he's new to this, and she's just going for it. She's been in the public eye. She knows. And it's the only room in the video that they don't touch.
What do you mean?
Which kind of... So...
Oh, they never touch the actual outside of the fishbowl.
No. They just never touch each other.
Oh, wow.
So in the other rooms, they're like dancing and they're
laying on a couch on top of each other.
Exactly. And in this room, they don't touch. because in the public eye, she wanted to keep it very private.
Yeah. Wow, that's insane. That's a detail right there.
Yeah.
What is...
Thanks, Tumblr.
Am I... So I put a note here because there was the scene where you'll save all your dirtiest jokes for me. Was that in the blue room?
No.
Where was that?
That was in... I want to say that was the...
It only makes sense in the red room.
It was in the dining room table.
I think it's the red room then.
It might have been... No, it might have been green?
It could have been green.
I want to
Could have
say.
been green too.
Because they were at a dining room table.
But I just want to ask you...
And it was like they were eating dinner.
Devin, why did the ketchup blush? Because it saw the salad dressing.
Such a dirty joke.
Such a dirty, filthy joke.
Awful.
Cover your ears.
How dare they air that on the music video?
Just like, and I just love that, like, she was like, during this, we have to put subtitles, and we have to come up with a joke, and we have to have me laughing to it, and have him mime it. I just thought that was such a cute, random, small addition that they totally didn't have to do.
It's just like a dirty joke because it's about, how the salad dressing, naked salad, but like...
Please explain more. Explain the joke in excruciating detail.
So
no, we're not doing this.
Is
nope,
red.
Nope.
Blush, you would say.
Oh my gosh. So the attic.
Anyways, yes, the attic being Reputation. It's a black, dark room. In the video, she goes up there and she's watching these old videos on a projector. And this can signify, Taylor Swift leaving the public eye and retreating into, this room where she can reflect on the past. And it's really important that in the previous scene that they were fighting and she runs up into the attic and then he joins her. So this place to her is a place that she can hide, but he breaks through and joins her. And they get to just reflect in this time alone together.
It's interesting because like a lot of this music video showcases like it feels like almost like shortcomings of past lovers, where like the ones who couldn't take the fishbowl, the ones who don't follow her up to the attic, things like that, and then like this is the one that broke through, that went in the fishbowl, survived, that dared to follow her up the attic and wouldn't let her go, even though they were fighting and stuff. Which is also an interesting thing in this video that I think is nothing in the song would lead me to believe that this couple is fighting. But she felt the need to throw that in there because that is a part of a relationship. Like every relationship, you're gonna fight. And it's
you have jealousy, you have fighting, you have your good times, your bad times. It's what makes you human.
And it's just interesting that like she throws that in there, and like I remember watching it and I'm like, why are they fighting? This song isn't about fighting, but it's about a relationship, and it's about like the end all be all relationship. And like it's a big thing is to be able to fight and reconcile. There's sorry, I'm gonna go really off script. There's a show that I watched that was a really good show, The Master of None. Absolutely, with Aziz Ansari. Absolutely loved it. But there's an episode, the 9th episode of the season. He fights with his girlfriend, and they have like this massive, like relationship ending fight almost, or so it would seem. And then they make up. Like she goes away for like a month or something, comes back, and like they end up making it up and making it work for the rest of that episode. And to me it was so interesting because you see that in movies all the time where like a fight happens and that's the end of the relationship, no matter what. Any fight, that's just it. And I don't think anything in mainstream media or things like this really showcase how important fighting and resolution of fighting is in a relationship. And I really like that she brought that and incorporated it into this music video, even though it seems like it's out of place. If you really think about it, it's one of the most important aspects, I think, of this video and what this song is trying to convey.
Well, that whole theme of, fighting and like you said, like certain situations having it be over. That was the whole theme of like Mine at the end of it with the, the bridge, and kind of transitioning into the Pink Room, which is Lover. Think of the song Afterglow. Like it's about having this argument and then making up and, meeting me in the afterglow where, everything is just kind of glowy and, you're still here at the end of the day, which we'll break down a little bit later. But now they're in this Pink Room. It's Lover, they're relaxing. They're laughing in bed. They're embracing each other, enjoying the love.
Isn't that the room where they fight, though? Is that like the
Yeah.
Yeah. What is...
That's the room that...
What's on her head? There's like a headband.
Oh, it's amore.
Amore.
It's the French word. The French word for love.
I was trying to figure out what that said, and I couldn't figure. I was really hoping that you knew. I like that. That's cute. And she plays the guitar. She plays what, like the bass or like an electric guitar in that one too, in that room.
Yeah, I think she plays. I want to say the bass because she plays drums in the green room.
It's also interesting that like these rooms also all are rooms of a house. Like the Pink Room is the bedroom. The living room or the dining room or something like that is the green room. I guess the living room
red room is like the living room.
The red room. The bathroom
the blue room's like the bathroom.
Yeah, like attic obviously. And then the piano room is the purple room. We live in America. Everyone has a piano room. But like I think it's really interesting that she didn't even like subvert architecture. She's like, well, it's still got to be a real house.
But do you know why?
Why? No, I don't.
So me being the, apparent English major that everything has to have meaning with Taylor Swift, she builds this home. She, puts all the actual rooms of a home and the significance of a home being what love is. Like, they are your home. With all of the fights, like I said, all the fights, all the arguing, all the laughs, all the tears, everything. That's what love is. And it's just, this person is your home, and it's what makes love.
It's what makes a complete home.
And it's just so symbolic. Yeah.
That's like, and I just spent all of that time talking about how a fight is so important in a relationship. But like, you said it exactly. Like, these are all, you can't have a complete home without all of these aspects of a house. And you can't have a complete relationship without all of these aspects of a relationship. She's so
you
good.
Take all of this, you take the message behind it, and what does the music video do? You see it at the end, it pulls away. This little girl has the snow globe in her hands, and who is it but Taylor and Owens sitting there as her parents, gifting her their love story and showing her what it truly means to be in love. And that is Taylor Swift, folks.
It's such a gorgeous like little bow to put on the end. Like I said, it perfectly encapsulates the grandiose love of Speak Now and the mundanity of just parents giving their child a Christmas gift. But like I said, it's just so seamless. The two, it's adorable. I think that's a pretty succinct wrap. This is the longest song review we've done, and I apologize for the length, but there's a lot to unpack here. So I hope you'll forgive us for it. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
I love love. I love it. I love it. I love Taylor Swift. I want that love one day. And it's so nice.
Is this going to be your wedding song?
Maybe if another song doesn't come out that like really captures it. I think that this might not be my wedding song, but it's definitely going to be played at my wedding.
100%. It can't not be played at your wedding.
It will be.
I'll kick you off this podcast
dance.
if it's not played at your wedding. My ex wanted our wedding song to be "Never Stop" by Safety Suit.
Okay.
I did not want that song to be our wedding song.
God.
But I don't know. Like, I think it hits the hammer too much to actually have Taylor Swift be our wedding song. But I think it just depends on who it ends up being.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to end by saying, everyone listening, please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Tell a friend about us. If you are somehow listening to this and you're not the biggest Taylor Swift fan and you're like, you know who would love this other Taylor Swift fan I know, or if you are the biggest Taylor Swift fan and you just want to make your other friends love her more, tell them about us. Rate us 5 stars on Apple. Give us a review. Let us know what you think.
Leave us a nice little comment. Say, hey, Devin, wow, you're blonde now. That's cool. Because for those of you who aren't watching the YouTube video, I dyed my hair. But yeah, so give us a follow on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on YouTube, so you can watch this fun little video. We're at We Need to Calm Down Podcast or at WNTCD Podcast on Twitter.
At that.
Thank you. It's an acronym. But yeah, leave us a comment, DM us, let us know what you want. Let us know what you think. If you have any comments, anything,
if you have a suggestion for an episode or content that you want to see us do, let us know. We're always happy to take in more suggestions like that. Please leave us a DM, leave us a comment.
Slide into the DM.
If you want to email us at we need to calm down podcast at gmail.com. Like, there's so many ways you can just get in touch with us. But I think that's it. I think that's a wrap on this song breakdown for Lover.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Come back. We'll be here.